Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Patronkast Plays Mortal Kombat 9 Complete Edition. This is it. This is the end of the tower. This is Challenge 300. Playing this challenge will be Shad. I am Razor. Smokeman is with us as well. Welcome to the end of the line, gentlemen.
The end of the line is in the audio settings?
Yes, it is.
Well, it will be in a moment. That's where they put it. It's a strange UI. I don't understand. You know, the NRS makes some very baffling gameplay decisions sometimes.
Oh God, help me! This is not going to be fun.
Who will we be challenging the tower with, Shad?
Well, that's a question, isn't it? We have choices, don't we?
We have
Kano. Kano. Do Kano.
I could use my might. I could.
He's
He's gonna be Smoke, isn't he?
It's a possibility. I'm also good with Sector. Can't use him to save my life. Keep dropping combos with you.
There are more bad answers than good ones, I'm thinking.
There are.
We can actually use the DLC here.
We can. Except him, you know, because of reasons. But there's something else, though. I mean, just... You know... I'm a vindictive and angry man. And this game has made me go through some shit. I think we can all agree. This challenge tower has put me through some stuff.
Been a journey.
Not to mention all the story and all that.
It has, in fact, challenged you.
So you know what I feel like?
What's that?
Revenge.
Oh my god.
I didn't know you could do that.
Yes, you fucking can. I am a vindictive, angry piece of crap.
Oh
This
my
is
god.
technically cheating, but alright.
Watch him lose.
Well,
Watch him lose.
It's entirely
That would-
possible.
It would be funny, wouldn't it?
It's entirely possible. I still have only one life bar.
Have you been labbing Kintaro?
A few things. There's not much you can do in the way of combos, but there's one.
Now, when you beat the challenge tower, don't you get your arcade ending?
Well, if we
Doesn't
do,
Kintaro not have an arcade ending?
if we do, there's a very good chance the game will in fact crash. Let's find out together.
That'd be funny as fuck.
Starts with Goro. I thought Molina was first. Been a
Yeah,
while.
what the fuck?
It's been
Why
like
not
13
Molina?
years, so...
It's supposed to be Molina.
Is it supposed to be Molina?
It's supposed to be. I played this like a million times.
Oh, this is not going very well.
No, it could be better.
It's gotta be because you're playing Kintaro, right?
Oh, right, I forgot about all the nonsense. Health regeneration and shit.
There is nonsense, yes.
Oh,
Oh, look at that!
I don't know that
Really?
Kintaro's fast enough for this.
it is distinctly possible he may not be enough. And I know I'm not winning this one. Oh well, I tried.
You need somebody with good strings to, because you got to break that first hit of armor.
Yeah, I'd forgotten about that.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Oh well.
They got a fuck ton of armor, right?
This is for you, Razor. It's not gonna go well.
Ah,
He's gonna have a hair problem, but I figured we should see it at least once.
that's all I ask.
Look at that.
I'm
Look at
fine with
dangliness.
that. I'm perfectly fine with that. There's
Fair
nothing
enough.
wrong there.
What?
Nope. Ah, shit.
Hmm. Locking disabled, that's not good.
Haha! Ow.
Uh-oh.
Regretting my decisions. Alright, that's one
That's
down.
alright. That's alright. One down. Now we got Kintaro.
Shit. I accidentally did the 2-hit, meant to do the 3. Ah! Ah, shit.
Uh-oh.
Ah, shit.
Straight out of MK2, that last one.
Yeah, it was.
Or the first one, I should say.
Safe to say I ain't winning this one either, but I get a damn good shot.
Well, there's only ever, I guess, one debuff active at a time. So that's...
Oh, we got a loop.
Oh, this is gonna be obnoxious. There
I think
you
it's
go.
Melina now. Yep.
There it is.
Oh,
Yeah.
what?
Goro, Kintaro.
Ah, yeah, there it is.
Melina.
I seem to remember that Melina was the first.
Well,
No.
it has been 13 years, my friend. All right.
Gonna be
all right,
seeing
halfway.
that a lot.
You got halfway.
Note to self: don't drop a single combo. Don't ever let them hit you.
Yeah, you gotta be fucking flawless.
That's really kind of how you gotta do it.
Yeah, we could be here quite a while, ladies and gentlemen. Assuming we do have some time left at the end of this episode, though, that it doesn't take all night, we will be looking at the Krypt later.
Well, that was nice.
Thank you.
That wasn't.
We're fine. We're still fine. Oh.
Oh, God.
It's a little weird when you win on the throw. Going pretty well so far.
Yeah. The bosses are really easy, honestly. In this
When you know their patterns.
Nope. Shit. Nope. What the hell, man?
That's evil.
Nonsense.
The dick move. She got him.
See, Melina's the one I'm the most worried about.
Yeah, because she'll fight like a normal person.
Yeah.
Yes.
But she's still fucked up.
It has begun.
She also has more health than
Ah.
that
that's
was
'cause
bullshit.
He had the damage decrease.
Oh,
He's got that debuff.
Ah.
Oh. Ooh.
Ouch.
Well, you almost had it. You almost had it.
I mean, sure, then there's Shao Kahn. Oh, Lord God.
I do know that for this challenge, if you, like, based on how many times you hit the retry on it, it does, like, actually get easier on you. It
Yeah,
goes
yeah.
softer.
As long as you don't like pause and restart before the match is over, because that won't register as having been beaten. But yeah, that's true of the whole tower. Is that if a challenge beats you too many times, it will get easier.
Oh
like
my
the
God.
difficulty does lower depending on how many times you've hit retry.
Are you...
It's kind of like playing Devil May Cry and losing, and then easy mode is now selectable comes up on the screen.
I didn't know that. That's fucking funny.
Oh yeah.
Christ!
Ouch.
I'm just gonna let this happen.
Yeah, that wasn't gonna be the run.
Ugh. Damage decrease, fuck you!
No, fuck you.
Fuck me twice, apparently!
That's fine. Fine.
Ah, shit! Wrong input.
There you go.
Goodbye, Goro.
Nope! No! Come on!
Mm,
Blocking? Thankfully, we need none of that.
you can't block a throw anyway. I mean, that combo is 20%, so if you just do that 5 times...
If I can get it 5 times.
Nice.
I don't want to dance, I want you to die.
Oh. Would be nice, wouldn't it?
I'm surprised that jump missed the size there.
Mm. There you go.
It's a shame they patched out that air throw vortex.
Mm.
That would have been so lovely to have.
Right? I love Smoke's voice in this game.
It's the
Not bad.
best.
Alright, we've made it to Con.
He angry. Oh god, please let this be the one.
Nice that they have a whole animation for that, and the challenge tower is the only time they use it.
Yeah.
Oh no, this is not it.
You don't know that yet.
Yeah, just don't get hit.
Oh, no!
That teleport is not the one to avoid that hammer with.
Clearly.
Oh, man. We're getting better, though. We're making progress.
It's getting easier. Oh, fuck you.
Not that time.
No, that confused him.
Ah, gargle bargle. Oh, fuck you.
Oh, that's bullshit.
No. What happened to your recovery time on that fucking fireball?
Yeah.
Yeah, the ground fireball's a real bitch.
A little bit. Good time for a taunt. Here we go.
Oh my god.
She seems to always do a
Ah,
roll
damn it with the... Ah, gargle.
Ah.
There's mud in your eye. Ah! Shit! Shit!
Could the AI be reading your inputs?
You wonder, don't
Imagine.
you? You wonder at times. This is not going to be the one either. Ah! What the? Ah!
That was weird.
No, it wasn't.
It was.
Promise myself I never do this shit ever again in my goddamn life. Why? Ah, fuck. Ah, fuck!
Oh no.
Ah,
Oh, no.
my god!
Sucked into his rhythm now.
Shit. What the hell was that?
I don't know.
Goodbye. I wonder where he went.
Ah! Shit. Shit!
They should have given you a health degen where you just take damage.
That's called this entire fucking gauntlet. Ugh.
Yeah, you're taking plenty of damage.
Oh my
Don't worry about that. At a certain point, it converts to emotional damage.
Oh.
That's
That was,
like gray
that
health
was sick.
in real life.
That was sick.
That was
you
pretty
very
good,
much.
actually. She didn't stay down.
Did you
Oh,
see that?
No.
Would have been better if she had.
So if I have to keep hitting retry, I can't switch characters then, can I?
No, I think that'll reset the difficulty.
I mean, have we noticed any markable difference?
I don't actually know how many tries it takes. I also don't know if it's a one-time decrease or if it keeps going down.
It keeps going, I think.
Okay. Yeah, so just lose 30 times.
No problem, Captain. I am your
Look, you're
Viking.
doing good.
I'm your Huckleberry.
Ah,
Oh my god.
Every day in every way, I am.
You're
making-
doing
like-
so good.
My God.
yeah, frankly, Goro's footsies have improved.
Go away.
There we go. You haven't used that all match.
Oh hey.
Well, it's
Oh
not
my
as useful against Goro and Kintaro.
Wow,
Is
we're
that
just
true?
Well, what? I mean, they're harder to juggle and they armor stuff, so sometimes it won't even put them in the air.
Oh, we're done here.
Yeah.
I love that glitch.
Your mom's a failure.
Got him!
I don't think Kintaro knew his mom.
That's a hurtful assumption.
I knew Kentaro's mom, Trebek.
Frankly, I bet Kintaro has a very healthy relationship with his parents.
Fuck.
It's the rest of Outworld society that's bringing him down. You know, he's being held back by the man.
I think Kentaro's parents are very probably dead.
But
Hey,
the man
Felicia
isn't
Cook.
even Shao Kahn in this instance. The man is King Gorbak. Shao Kahn's actually for fucking racial equality with the Shogun.
He's the best friend
Weirdly-
Kentaro ever had. Fuck. Nope.
In some ways, you could say that Shao Kahn is the most progressive emperor Outworld's ever had.
True.
Because he's equal opportunity, and Kotal is racist as fuck.
Shit.
fucked up, man.
Joke's on you, I don't need no blocking. See?
Oh, Jesus. You can still make it back from this.
Can I really?
It'll be fun.
I think so.
Well, maybe not now.
Okay, now you can.
Tiger stripey piece of
Actually,
crap.
did you get a little bit of health back?
I think I did.
You did.
Maybe that's how it gets easier.
Interesting.
Shit.
I think when I had this game, when it was out, I think I did this with every character.
This entire gauntlet.
Yes.
Well,
And
Why
Shad
in
playing and
God's
not
name?
you?
Why would
know,
you do
'cause I
that
don't
to
wanna.
yourself? I did get health back. Look at that.
Well, this might be the run that wins then.
Oh, no pressure, thanks.
I said might.
Ah, crap.
You gotta block that.
Oh
Yeah,
my god, what the hell
oh.
hitbox
You gotta
was
block
that?
that. And I think I think I also remember like making sure it doesn't get easier.
Well, don't you have the biggest balls of them all?
I do.
Again, why are you not the one playing the game if you're such a fucking badass?
Because I don't wanna.
Okay, alright. A likely excuse.
I mean, I can double flawless Goro, Kentaro, and Shao Kahn. Like, that's easy.
I'm sure it is.
It is.
You won't. You're a coward. You have no bones.
It is done.
Wow, there it is. Honestly, that didn't take as long as I expected.
Damn.
Smoke wins.
Mm-hmm. Now we have this shit to look at.
You unlock this, Shad.
Congratulations.
This is, NRS said it was worth it.
Yeah, they really hyped this shit up.
Do you think it's worth it?
I should be horny, but I'm not.
You know what? Let me
I'm not-
rephrase. It's
I'm
not.
not-
It's the teeth.
It's not congratulations. It's congratulations.
Congratulations.
You
Here,
have proved the justice of our culture. Now go and
screenshot
look
of this
for
shit for
heroes.
posterity. Why did they think this was a good... This game, man. This game. Well, we're done now.
We sure are.
It's finished. The tower is
Let's,
done. Except for all those ones I cheated and skipped over with money.
fuck them.
Fuck 'em. Fuck 'em.
Those were fucked anyway, so it's fine.
Yeah, if they wanted you to beat them, they'd have made them easier.
Damn straight. Can't argue with that logic. All right. What's next on the menu, boys?
Let's open some coffins.
All right. Do you want to check out the
Let's see.
necropolis first? See what's going on in there?
Well, there shouldn't be anything. Well, there's some things in there right now, but not as much as after you do the crypt.
All right. I'm going into the crypt. We're going into the crypt. Are you scared?
Yes.
Excellent.
Very spooky.
I remember
So-
I would not wander the crypt itself. I would do this trick where like you just go back to the map and then back
Yeah,
into
it'll,
the
like-
game.
Immediately move you to the next coffin.
Yeah.
Yep.
I did that the entire way to clean it out because I didn't want to get the jump scare. And then
Yeah.
right at one of the very last ones, like the second or third, I went back in, immediately got me.
It do be like that.
All right. Well, for the benefit of our listening and viewing audience, I will say right now, because Razor has a weak heart, has bones, plenty of bones, but a weak heart.
I do, in fact, get chest pains with screamers. It's like been happening since I was like 18.
So yeah, we're not going to judge him based on that. I completely and totally understand. So I attempted to go into the files and actually erase the image of the Krypt monster. If I have done this correctly, every now and then, like, the screen may refocus and you might hear a scream, faintly since I've turned the volume down. But that should be it. I have no idea whether or not I actually succeeded. For all I know, I've failed completely and it's still in there. We might see a massive mess of pixels show up and scare us even worse. But there's no way to know until it actually happens. So, it is a mystery. We'll spend our time here wondering until it happens, if it does.
If it crashes the game, you'll know because there'll be an awkward cut.
Yes, there will. And I will come back with, well, the game crashed. Now we have to live in fear. My first item is free. Is it terror? Let's find out.
So, I will say that other than the Screamer, I do enjoy the Krypt environment.
Oh, I love this place. There's areas in here that I actually wish were, like, fighting game backgrounds.
I do wish that, like, the things in these coffins were better. Because, quite frankly, there's no good concept art in this game's Krypt, and the reason for that is because the special edition of this game came with an art book. So they put all the concept art in their art book and didn't put it in the game. So only people with the art book are allowed to see it. Except for the fact that the art book has been scanned, and they're not the highest quality scans, unfortunately, but it's the best you can do. Because here's the thing about that art book. It's not the size of a book.
It's so tiny.
It's like the size of an NES game's instruction manual in terms of, like, page height and width.
Oh, well, that's fucked up.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's
just
fucking...
little oblong, rectangle of a hardcover book.
It's very tiny.
Joke's on you, I'm always at half-mast. That one was free, the next you pay for. Give money.
Okay. Well, they can do that at the Patreon. You know, if they...
Yes, we haven't plugged that yet.
If they feel like that was worthy of a tip, patreon.com/Netherkast.
The man, the myth, the legend, the striker.
Yeah, see, all they have for concept art is just pictures of the costumes that are already in the game. There's no, like, sketches, there's no, like, unused iterations.
I haven't, like, looked in the actual, like, collection in the game. Is it just in the art book where it's, like, only, like, 2 or 3 different, like, costume art that they didn't go with? And, like...
It depends on the character.
Half the fucking page is just, like, the model... or whatever the fuck.
Yeah, a lot of the page space in the art book is taken up by, like, 3D renders of, like, here's Shang's body without his goatee and clothing, you know, just like the smooth, textureless version.
Here's naked reptile.
Yeah, like, I don't know why that's in there, but
it's one of the worst art books I've ever seen.
Yeah, well, here's the thing, is that most of the characters, all the art book will show you is, like, their primary, their alternate, and, like, some 3D render garbage that nobody wanted to look at. But a couple of characters do show multiple iterations. Like, for example, you can see on Smoke's art page that one of the costume designs they were going to do but scrapped is Nano Smoke from Deception.
Yep. Straight
you can see on Shang Tsung's that they were gonna give him the blue coat from MK1 and they didn't. You can see on Melina's that she was gonna have her Deception outfit, or no, wait, that's MKX that she was gonna get, because her alt in this game already kind of looks like Deception.
Look at it.
But yeah, so this Krypt will give us a lot of combat codes, a lot of stick figure fatalities.
I remember that image.
Yeah, they had that as a wallpaper on the MK9 website. Remember wallpapers? Nobody makes wallpapers anymore.
No.
Yeah, the ones I've gotten on my PC are, like, from ages and ages ago.
Same. No. Do movie studios and, like, game studios still make like separate websites?
Not so much anymore.
Wasn't there a Madam Web website?
Ugh, probably.
Oh, dear. We don't have to talk about stillborn Sony Spider-Man movies here.
the Sony universe of Spider-Man characters or whatever they called it.
Something like that.
The Spider-Man universe of Sony. I don't know. The
Sony
acronym
Man
is
universe
like
of spider characters.
the
I
acronym
think
for it
it's-
is like SPUMCO or something like that.
Spummick.
Spumco. No, Spumco was from Ren and Stimpy.
Yeah, SPUMCO is from Ren and Stimpy, but it's like one letter off, so that's what I'm calling it.
Or maybe it's Sumic?
A Krypt collectible.
It doesn't matter. None of this matters.
Those movies don't matter. All of them.
It is in fact never going to be Morbin time.
What are you talking about? It's Morbin time right now.
Do you feel like you're Morbin out?
Moderately.
Yeah. So the Krypt does have these 4 different geographical areas with their own, visual style. Different kinds of graves to
And it's all
unearth.
really skewed in terms of percentage for the Deadlands. There's 121 chests in here, 55
Yeah.
here, 83 over here, and 40 here.
Yeah.
The Hollow Infestation is my favorite one for the record.
Yeah, how about these Deadlands, huh?
How about him?
Now see, look at that graveyard.
Look at that.
Look at how it's the color
That's-
of the graveyard. Look at how MK3-ish it looks.
That's
This would have been
beautiful.
so good. That's
And
a
then
shame.
this is... They put a city behind there and made everything orange. Why is everything in this game
tornado in
so
it.
orange?
Coliseum speed painting.
Look, that painting of the fucking Kanzarina was purple. Kanzarina's not purple in the game. It's fucking brown and tan.
Do you guys like the day pit? I like the day pit.
Yeah,
I'm not a fan of the day
the
pit.
day
No.
pit is all right. I think it's just okay.
It's not. I mean, I'm a fan of the entire like day-night concept that the game's got going on. I really dig that. It works better for some places than others, but
Yeah, I think the pit is the one where it's sort of the day version is the most boring. I really like, day-night courtyard. I like day-night for Shang's garden.
Oh, look at that.
I mean, that's just more Frankenstein-y.
It's still
you were
cool.
talking about how it looks like a Frankenstein's monster lab. This one has
It's-
literally the electric
I mean-
generator that brings bodies to life.
I mean, that's true, but to be fair, this does it better.
It is.
It looks like I like looking at this stage. You know what I mean?
It's more
The Flesh
visually
Pits has
interesting.
nothing in it.
It's more visually interesting than what we got, but the flesh pits that exists in my imagination, the one that I want, has bookshelves and potion racks and cauldrons, man.
I think there's
Yeah,
one
Shang's-
that's like that.
the one that's in the game is kind of like a just charnel house, basically.
It would-
I like what we got, but it does feel like it's just kind of bloody for the sake of being
I
bloody.
don't
Yeah,
know.
we
I
talked
don't
about
like
this.
it.
Like, I like the operating tables and the Molina tubes, but other than that, it's an empty giant basement. There's nothing in it.
I'm Sonya Boobs.
Yeah, that's the other thing we get a lot of in this. The damage versions of character models. You can see everybody with an eyelid missing.
Wow,
So,
that's so cool.
I mean, he's all blue inside.
Does he also run an antifreeze like his robot brother? We'll never know.
Well, in the game, it's more black than blue. Oh, that would have been the screamer, I think.
Oh, so that
That would've
was that
been-
actually
yep,
it?
I
That was
guess
the sound?
I guess it worked without crashing the game.
All
Nice.
right.
We can browse without fear. Sweet. We should hear pigs squealing every now
I
and
can
then.
actually spend time in the crypt and enjoy the scenery without worrying about you know how they since the 90s you have to put an epilepsy warning and try not to have flashing colors in your stuff. Why doesn't that kind of safety standard exist for screamers? I don't understand.
If they ever re-release this game, I honestly hope to God that there was an option to turn that the hell off. Like, it's
It's legitimately a health concern. There should be a I don't know, make a law about it.
People make a big hullabaloo about people who are so sensitive now, but that actually can be dangerous to people.
Yeah.
This is Mortal Kombat. You should feel safe.
Look, a fatality has never, like, jump scared me, alright? I can handle gore. That's not a problem.
Oh, what about that one? That one's pretty nice.
Which
There
one?
was some interesting stuff there.
The flesh. Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah, there were a bunch of, like,
there's multiple speed paintings of each stage in here.
It looked like there were, like, these fixtures that were holding up green orbs everywhere, sort of like they have in the Armageddon version of the Soul Chamber.
I think those are supposed to be like weird railings or something.
I just want to
I
call
don't
your
know.
attention to this render of a costume that is
Yeah,
not in the game.
so-
Yeah, I know. Yep.
So this
Makes
is
me
what I
mad.
was talking about. I was talking about this earlier, that this Shao Kahn costume was in all the marketing for this game, but it's not the one he wears in the game.
Drives me nuts, it does.
And it's much better than the one he wears in the game. That's what's so frustrating about it.
Mm-hmm. Far better.
Sure, we can do
Combat.
that.
Oh.
We can do that. We won't.
We
but
already
we
did
could.
that.
Disable foreground objects. How many stages have an intrusive foreground object you'd want to get rid of?
I can't really think of any. Oh, speaking of costumes that annoy me, my god.
Yeah, so...
God, how I wish I could just transplant the mask from this onto the default. I gotta
Yeah.
look into doing that.
Like, it's kind of interesting that the design seems like it's supposed to take his cop outfit, his, like, Striker's partner outfit, and put the Cabal gear over top of it. And then it's not the one he wears in story mode at all.
This is an
Now, this is-
interesting bell tower.
This looks neither anything like the bell tower from 3 or the bell tower that we got. This is like the living forest tree house where we fought
was-
Melina and Shaolin monks.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. The bell. I mean, those bells are gigantic back there. But I feel like this might have been more interesting than what we actually got for the bell.
Well,
tower
you can
stage.
barely
I
even see
kind
the
of
bells.
agree.
All I see is like a blurry, hazy, smoky background and all these rickety bridges.
If this were like a real stage, that'd be fucking amazing. But it's not like MK3, so.
Yeah, it wouldn't be the bell. Like I said, the point of the bell tower was to look like the end of Batman '89. That's what I want.
Ah, retro sub. What if we'll actually run out of money before we finish this?
I feel like we've got a lot of money.
I have been going through the game with everyone for our commentary on all the endings, which we'll do next time.
Yeah, that'll be
Melina Primary.
next week, because it's gonna take a while to unlock the Krypt here.
Yep. We're in this for a bit of a haul. Or until I run out of money.
It looks like Goro's lair.
It is Goro's lair.
Hey, wait a minute before you go.
Okay.
That's movie Goro.
Yeah, I was gonna say the Goro
the
on the
arms
throne
are
there
like
looks
coming
like
out of the out of his sides rather than like the typical game configuration of his body. That is
it looks
very
like
movie
someone.
Goro.
It looks like someone took a production photo or a movie screenshot and painted over it a little bit. Yeah.
Oh, so that Oni over there, roughly a little bit to the right of center, kind of looks like he's in a versus pose. Dun, dun,
Little
dun. I do like the version of Goro's lair that we got in this game. It's up there for me.
I wish the like the dungeon cells were darker and the Oni eyes were more prominent.
That's fair.
Yeah, I think I can agree with that. But I think in terms of it looking a lot more like decrepit, I like this one too.
Yeah, see, this one
one's
is pretty
nice.
much the same, except there's
Oh.
like
Look at that. That's beautiful.
I love that like gigantic flash of souls all the way in the distant background. Like
yeah,
this,
that's neat.
This really feels like it comes out of the world of like MK3, where like the city's in the distance and that's where all the soul shit's happening. And
I
you're
like
out
the
in middle of
windmills, 'cause-
desolate nowhere.
There were windmills in the original, I believe.
Yeah, I think so. In the back.
You know what
But,
I really like about the MK3, the graveyard? And
Everything?
apparently, like, this element isn't in every version of the game. I'm not sure which one. That's an interesting, like, took away most of the actual
It is
there's no pagoda roof. It's really trimmed down.
It is a
It's
speed painting.
a weird iteration. Glad they didn't go that way.
You were gonna
But
say
yeah,
about the graveyard?
so the original MK3 Graveyard, and I can't remember if this is just in Ultimate or just in Trilogy or what, but if you look really close at the furthest back layer of sprites that are parallaxing in the background, there's a very tiny Raiden watching you fight.
That's there from the first one. It's there from MK3 onwards. I don't think they ever actually got rid of it. I'm pretty sure it's in every single one.
I feel like there are versions of the graveyard where he's missing, because I've seen people dispute that it's not there, but you look at MK Warehouse and it's definitely there, so wherever he pulled those sprites from.
If it's missing from anywhere, it'd probably be the N64 version of Trilogy. That game had to make a lot of cuts.
I forget. I was saying I was on a point about some other stage, and then I interrupted myself. I forget what it was.
But yeah, I love the idea, because with Vanilla 3, the idea was that Raiden wasn't allowed to participate, so the idea that there are Easter eggs of him throughout the game here and there.
Just kind of hanging back, watching him. Maybe he actually helped with the burial of Johnny Cage.
I really enjoy what that sort of adds to the atmosphere and the little bits of storytelling that gives you. And I kind of...
It's almost creepy.
It almost makes me wish that he hadn't been added in Trilogy, you know? Like if they had stuck with the he's not allowed.
Almost. Something that MK3 is really underrated about is it's actually, I would say, all the MKs up to straight up through Armageddon. Even here too, to a certain extent, but not very much. The games were extremely good about visual storytelling. You've said that before, Razor, and I've always 100% agreed. It's the little things. It's Raiden being all the way back in the background of a stage. It's like Sonya and Kano being shackled and imprisoned in prison next to Shao Kahn in MK2. There is just so much that's actually going on that makes this world and this story feel alive and living and breathing. And I don't think that any movie or TV show could ever actually truly encapsulate everything that John Tobias had in his mind.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, is that Tobias cared a lot about putting that stuff in there because he didn't have as much room for text. And I feel like now that they've got these cinematic story modes, it's caused them to sort of get lazy about the subtle stuff that they could be seeding in.
I'd agree.
Everything's just upfront exposition. And I'm not saying do away with the cinematics. I'm saying you can have both things.
You could. You really could.
Because
no blood.
Think about how
What is this? Well, this was America. Sorry.
In Street Fighter games, when they don't have a character on the roster, they'll put them cheering in the back of Guile's stage or something like that. How many characters... there's this whole section of MK12 where they're doing a tournament, and most of it happens off screen, and it will cut to Sindel saying, "Well, you've defeated Motaro and Kotal." And it's Kotal's not in this game. Why didn't you put Kotal in one of the backgrounds then? You know?
I think that nowadays this has to do a lot more with the expectations that people have from NPCs. Nowadays, unfortunately, Ed and the gang have to listen to Twitter. God, I know. And they'll be but, Sindel was an NPC, and why isn't she an actual character? And this is so unfair. And they'd probably get the exact same reaction if a character was just sitting there in the background of the stage,
Yeah, but you don't have to listen to those people.
I'm not defending it. I'm just saying that's probably their reasoning.
Honestly, I liked the way NPCs were done in, Mortal Kombat X, and Ed came out of that experience going, "We won't do that again because of the whining on Twitter." And it's
That's not even true. They ended up doing that, 2 more times, right?
I think that they did, in fact, go back on that.
Are there any... Hold on. Are there any characters in 11 and 12 story mode who aren't playable? Other than, the boss.
In MK12s?
In 11 or 12.
Well, in 11 there was Sector and Cyrax.
Is there a single... Yeah, Sector and Cyrax.
Just off the top of my head.
Sector,
That's
Cyrax.
pretty much it. And the only reason Sector and Cyrax were made into NPCs you could fight against is because they were reusing Triborg's move sets from X. And the thing of it is, I don't even want them to be fightable. I just want people to show up in cutscenes.
That'd be enough for me.
Or as background elements. You know, somebody standing, like you fight in Shao Kahn's arena. Maybe there could be a couple of the Outworld characters who aren't in the game standing next to Shao Kahn and his throne, you know?
Right.
Do you have anything to say about this gigantic ass demon and this concept of the armory?
Yeah, what the fuck?
Hammering stuff? 'Cause I feel like we could talk about that, because this is interesting.
So it's an interesting pitch, but I feel like it would work better in a NetherRealm stage.
Yeah,
like in a
exactly.
game where,
If this is like in the Netherrealm or something, that'd be fucking
if
sick.
they put it into MKX, like some game where Shinnok is the boss and you're seeing his armory. Because the other thing is, if they had put this big element in there, then they'd have had to get rid of the big Mortal Kombat logo, and now you're missing an iconic piece of the armory.
I'm glad it turned out the way it did over this. I mean, this would be cool in like a Hell's Foundry background.
Yeah.
Emphasis on the Hell. What are you? Are you openable?
Yeah, I think that's
Somebody have
These mausoleums are open too.
This is fun.
What is the Netherrealm's version of the armory? It's
called Hell's Foundry, I believe. It's an Armageddon.
Well, no, here's the Hell's Foundry is a name for the place where Onaga's army makes weapons in Outworld.
Oh,
that's
right.
the fucked up part. The only factory stage that is actually in the Netherrealm, according to lore, is the Armageddon version of the Firewell, in which like they grind up skulls to make weapons out of bones or some shit like that.
Personally,
now here's the weird thing. I say Hell's Foundry, that's the backstory, that it's Onaga's and it's in Outworld. But if you look at the skyline, like if you actually look around the background elements of the stage, it does look like hell, and it looks like you're somewhere around the prison from Mythologies.
Huh.
a little bit of intent and clarity would have been really nice there, wouldn't it?
Yeah. I think whoever wrote the bio for that stage is not the person who designed that stage. Because Hell's Foundry looks like it's in hell, and it should be in hell, but the bio says it's in Outworld.
I have nothing much to say about this particular rooftop concept, except that feels almost verbatim like the helicopter that was supposed to be in the backstage of the bank in MK3.
Oh yeah. When we were fighting there back in story mode, the crashed helicopter was in MK3's concept art. There was a crashed helicopter in the bank. They moved it to the rooftop because they weren't doing the bank.
Well, you know, it does.
Also,
it's not really worth much if it's not in the bank, right?
If you remember,
I see what you did there.
There were stage transitions in the original MK3.
I like
the
it.
rooftop is in fact part of the bank.
This is true. It is important to consider these things, although not the trilogy version of things.
That was all coincidence.
Because the trilogy version of things would have you believe that Goro's lair connects to the armory.
Yeah.
And that connects to the combat tomb. Oh, the madness.
I think the stage transitions in vanilla and ultimate can be trusted to have a narrative purpose.
I think that
and
they're
the
also
ones in trilogy are just there to be there.
If I'm remembering right, though, it's just the N64 trilogy that has the messed up ones. I think they're okay in the PSX version.
Well, you know, they put all these MK1 and 2 stages into trilogy, and then they're like, well, we got to do the mechanic that we introduced, but how do we connect these stages? And then they just bullshitted some stuff. Like, logically, Goro's lair would be underneath another stage that's on Shang's island, right? Like the courtyard?
Yeah.
What if
they were just winging it. Fucking around.
The man, the myth, the legend. The pants.
I like that Johnny costume because it's colors from the MK1 comic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The blue was a little more teal in the comic, but it's close enough.
I vaguely remember this,
Yeah, so there
do.
were these were wallpapers that were released during the promotional period that were sort of hinting at what happens in their fatalities, like before they actually revealed the fatality.
Right, this is his when he
'Cause-
bisects you.
Because before they wouldn't really show the fatalities in the trailers like they do now.
Yeah. They were like that was to tease it, and then they'd finally reveal the fatality like a week later or something like that.
I missed the lead up to 9. All that shit was so cool.
The lead up to 9, I had so much. Like, I was honestly on the edge of my seat with every little bit
Well,
of new news.
that was before we knew how bad the story was gonna go.
Yes. The lead up to 9 was like... Pardon me. The beer's kicking in. The lead up to 9 was like a lot... Like, my last moments of faithful purity. When I believed everything would still work out. When I believed...
You know, they
I just
hadn't
believed, really.
they hadn't given us reasons to be pessimists yet. They still had goodwill.
Well, you know what? I have seen a lot of people hereabouts over the past year on the internets here and there. We are not alone anymore.
Yeah,
It felt like we were part of a vocal minority for a long time, but now I feel like fucking everyone's given up on this franchise. That's what it feels
Well,
like.
I want to get that into a minute, but first, look at the color Shang is wearing back there.
It's purple, isn't
Oh,
it?
look at that.
Yeah.
All of these monks have the exact same face.
Oh yeah, they
Almost.
copy pasted that. When you're doing digital artwork and it's just for concept art, you just to get the idea of a thing across, you're allowed to take those kinds of shortcuts.
Yeah.
There's no shame in that.
Yep.
But yeah, so about the
It's Scorpion.
yeah, it is.
It is Scorpion.
So the general public reception to MK12 of late, I've been seeing a lot of videos, especially because the participation numbers for Evo have been revealed, and MK12 has the second lowest. There's been much talk about why people are dropping the game, and there's a lot of obvious reasons, like every patch breaks something, the game is glitchy and messy. It's shovelware. It was released too fast. They don't seem to be supporting it well and keeping it fixed. They're not, NRS is not giving money into pots to encourage people to, try and win the grand prize with anything. Those are all very good reasons, but I would like to suggest that, and you talk to, if you tell FGC guys, if you try to convince them that story matters, they will laugh at you, and I'm not going to say that. But it's not that story matters in this case. It's that the franchise's identity and aesthetics matter. Mortal Kombat 12 has no visual personality. It looks like AI art.
Yeah, I've always gotten that impression.
And it
when I
has
first
no,
saw
like,
the art.
all the people, like, there are so many people who have followed this series since the arcade era, through the 3D era, into the NRS era, who were only following the franchise, who had only become fans because of the story. Like, Mortal Kombat has never been a franchise that really felt like it was trying to be competitive until 9X and 11. It always put the single player content first, and especially in the 3D era, didn't have the kind of gameplay that would make for a competitive fighting game. It's not the kind of thing that the FGC would want to play.
I mean,
it wasn't balanced. It wasn't.
They tried. Like, you had things like, looking over the way things were in Deadly Alliance and finding them too simplistic with combo strings and unbalanced in some ways, like with the stabbings, and they tried to introduce breakers. I mean, the original MK arcade games, up until 3, had a pretty thriving arcade scene, and like there was competitive.
Well, that's the thing about the 3D era. The thing about the 3D era is that they knew the arcade scene was dead and that online wasn't good enough yet to really support being competitive, so they put all of their focus into single-player modes and having more narrative, and that's why we got stuff like Shujinko's Conquest mode And that's sort of those things were meant to be like the main content of the game that would draw people in, and it worked really well. I have cited this numerous times. The 3D era games sold better, despite the fact that Mortal Kombat isn't sold in Asia. Deadly Alliance, Deception, and Armageddon sold better in just America alone than Tekken 5 sold worldwide. Now, if you look at those sales numbers now, Tekken 5's in the lead because they've re-released it many, many times, and the 3D era's never gotten a re-release.
I'm just saying, though, there were
no Mortal Kombat game, no Mortal Kombat game post Ultimate has ever been re-released.
Oh god, that's actually true, and that's actually very, very sad. The
Yeah.
last re-release of an MK game that I can remember was probably Ultimate on the DS. The DS.
Well, I mean, there have been the arcade
collection on
yeah,
the
there's been the
PS3.
arcade collection.
Was that before or after?
That was after.
Was that after?
That was way after.
Pretty sure.
That was around the time 9 came out.
So, but the point
still
I was
10
getting
fucking
at
years.
is that, like, even if you disregard any interest in story, people who play fighting games for the competition aspect, who treat it like a sport, the same way you'd play like a Call of Duty or something like that. Those people, even if they don't care about story, they do care about finding the characters interesting. It goes back to everybody, being pissed at Combo Fiend for saying Magneto not being in Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite is okay because characters are just functions and other characters have Magneto's functions. The reason everybody hated that is that's not why we play characters. We play characters because we like what they're about, what they represent, what they look like, how they make us feel. And none of the characters in MK12 are the real MK characters. And they all look like generis-sized knockoff versions. Like, they all look like Johnny Cage, if you take away the green shadows, is Wish.com Johnny Cage. It's we have Johnny Cage at home. It's not working for anybody.
Yeah. Whoa.
Speed painting. I mean, I have so many thoughts about like this, and I almost don't blame them for wanting to just start fresh, make new versions of characters. I think that if anything, and Yahtzee made this point that the series started writing itself into a corner with Armageddon. I feel like this series and its characters are something that they probably feel like they feel constrained within. They feel like MK is this. This is the thing. MK, unlike Street Fighter, unlike Tekken, kind of has the confines of like this entire saga around it. Like here's
a point I want to make.
There's this story to it. There's this. It's a trilogy. Then it can it is really hard to break the mold of that. It's like trying to make new versions of Star Wars, the original trilogy. How the hell do you do it?
Here's the thing, though. The people making Street Fighter and the people making Tekken clearly have a passion for those characters, and they don't see it as being constrained. They're still enjoying telling those stories.
Yeah.
And that's why Ryu still looks and acts like Ryu, and fucking the Mishimas have never been rebooted, We're still on one timeline with those games. The problem with MK12, the problem with everything NRS, and the reason that people are not as into MK12 and aren't like passionate about the game is because the game doesn't show that it was made with passion. That's the key. You can tell the difference between something that has soul and something that is soulless.
Hey, look, a soul.
There's clearly not a love of the Mortal Kombat characters showing from the people who are making Mortal Kombat.
I think it's
almost like a corporate product that was shat out, and Street Fighter and Tekken don't feel that way.
I think that's one factor. I think
the core summary of everything that's wrong with 12. People can feel that there's no passion in this, and therefore they have no passion for it.
There's Purple Shag again.
Yeah.
I think that's one major factor. I also think that it's a problem that I find comparable to... Yeah, that was my boy. old school Final Fantasies. Like, I stopped getting into Final Fantasy with 13 because
I hit a 12. I dropped it then.
12 was like my last bastion. Like, I remember trying with 12, and like I finished it, but I was like, man, I'm not excited about what comes next. Like, it was like one game you lost the world map, another game you lost airships, and I feel like that kind of like eventually it just sort of morphs and changes, and one day the active time battle system is gone, replaced with something else, and one day you're not really playing an RPG with a world map anymore. You're not playing so much a JRPG as you're playing an action RPG. Like, it's slowly morphed over time into this completely, totally separate, different thing. And I feel like that's also happened with Mortal Kombat to a huge extent. Like, secrets trailed off, and
Hey, this looks like the bell
mysticism.
tower. Why the fuck wasn't this what we got?
It's a little blue.
Yeah,
It's
but
good.
it's like
it does look a bit more
structurally,
traditional.
it looks very Batman '89. This is what I've been looking for. Why didn't they make it this way?
Wasn't the Batman '89 bell tower very blue?
Well, it was a
That
night
was-
scene, so yeah, it was a little
Yeah.
bluish.
I don't know if I would have called it a single color. Like, there's a lot of, like, muted brown
I mean, here's
there
the thing.
at
This
nighttime,
this
and
is
there was
a
moonlight.
speed painting.
It's
It
blue
would have
lighting.
had more color if they had finished it. This is a speed painting.
What was I saying? Alright, so that's kind of how the way I feel about MK. Like, it's secrets one game, it's atmosphere another. One day Dan Forden disappears and someone else is doing the music. It's like, to this day, I feel like the identity of the series, the core identity of MK, has just been chipped away piece by a horrible piece. And now, like, it's nothing but a remotely competent, good-looking fighter anymore.
Yeah, but it's a remote. I don't know if I'd even call it remotely competent looking anymore, because that's one of the problems with 12 is that it feels like what it is, shovelware. It's glitchy and buggy and unbalanced, and every patch breaks more than it fixes.
I have two kind things to say about MK12. Well, three. There are some nice looking stages. There's a couple of good songs, background music wise, and Smoke lived for the entire storyline. That's it. That's all I can give it.
I feel like the only reason Smoke lived is because they forgot he was in there.
Probably.
I forgot he was in there.
This is neat, I guess.
That's
Eh.
pretty much. This
Same
is the
thing.
one we got. They had the dragon and the portal. Previous painting just was everything but those two elements.
Yep.
I want to. You blew past it, but when we saw Kano with battle damage, there was like his cyborg eye was hanging out on a spring.
Oh,
yeah,
Hey,
yeah.
if I'm
that
going
would've
too,
been
if I'm
cool.
going too fast, like stop me and interrupt me if I'm talking. And just say I want to talk about this, or hang
It's fine.
here,
We can.
or just say hang here if you want to talk about something that's going on. While you're
I mean,
talking.
we can see all these again in the necropolis when we're done.
True. Still got plenty of money. We might be able to ace this whole thing. Decent Shang. I've always liked the Shang in this game.
It's fine. I just wish his coat was blue.
I wish it was down to his ankles. That's about it, really.
Well, yeah, when I was talking about how the art book had a blue Shang that they didn't use, that one, the coat was basically the same shape as what we got, and they just made his pants the gold instead of like a long skirt.
What have we here?
Yeah, Retro Scorpion.
Sure is.
Nice of them to put concept art of the DLC in
Yeah, right. What the fuck?
the
Oh,
on
man,
disc
these were the-
DLC.
These were the ages where people were still angry about shit like that. I feel like now nobody cares. I feel
Well,
like now
Yeah,
it's,
because
expected.
they keep doing it. So
Yeah, people have just been beaten down into accepting
we've
it.
lost-
That doesn't make it right to put DLC on the disc.
I mean, look, if you were going to put DLC on the disc, like, say, for example, Scarlet, and you had Scarlet as a hidden character, and you could only achieve that by having Scarlet on the disc, and you're going to sell her later on, I'd personally be okay with that. I'll play devil's advocate for a scenario like that, if you're going to put it to use intelligently.
Or if she's on the disc as a hidden character, you could make her unlockable, like back in the day.
Man,
And
I
then,
miss
like-
Super Unlockables. I miss unlockables.
You know what? Here's the thing.
Yeah,
I miss
why-
secrets.
Could
You-
you
let me-
imagine if? Could you imagine if Scarlet was the fucking Challenge Tower reward?
Allow me to
That'd be
propose
amazing.
something a second. What if you have characters that are unlockable, and then you make unlocking them also DLC for the tournament runner guys who don't want to spend all the time playing the game to unlock things? Just did $5, now it's done.
You mean like what they do
Sure.
now? What
They
they've
don't
been
do that
doing?
now. They don't
They
do that
do.
now. They
They-
don't. Name a character
They
who's
do.
name a character who you can unlock by playing the game, and the DLC is a second option.
I just want to
Um,
break in and say that this is a really
most-
pretty.
Most of the cameos in MK12 and Havoc too.
There you go.
You could pay like money to unlock Havoc.
Allow me to suggest for a moment that just playing story mode doesn't make a character hidden.
Okay.
Yeah, there's.
Okay.
I mean, there's unlockable and there's hidden. I don't think that, for argument's sake, I don't think that we've actually ever had
I'm
a real
talking about-
hidden character, truly hidden, deep within the bowels of the game that had a lot of work or effort to get to, since like
I'm talking
Deception
fucking-
Liu Kang.
I'm talking fucking Cyber Smoke in Ultimate or Zombie Liu Kang in Deception. That's the kind of hard to unlock, or you could just throw money at it. Not just play story mode to a certain chapter and the character that's in that chapter is now playable. That's fucking weak.
It's what that feels like to me is like a compromise between the old school way of like digging and looking for hints to find a hidden character and the idea of having something as an unlockable, but which takes almost no effort, just a little bit of patience and the willingness to watch a movie.
Well, if you did that, then they wouldn't be hidden. People know that they're in the game, and they don't know where, so they're just gonna pay the $5. They're not gonna actually bother with the fucking.
Well, the
hiddenness.
kind of people who would pay the $5 can pay the $5. The kind of people who want to dig and find stuff, let them dig and find stuff.
I kind of think that they just don't do it anymore because they know that people are just gonna data mine this shit anyway. You can't hide things from people now. It's all dug up and exposed to the world before the game comes out.
Well,
the kind of mystery that the old games just ran on
If I
isn't
may,
really possible anymore.
if I
arguably.
may, it
You
was
may.
never a secret that Cyber Smoke was in vanilla MK3. The box on the select screen would periodically rotate and show him to you. The mystery was, how do I get him? So, we shouldn't be worried about spoiling that hidden characters are in the game. We should just be like, well, what do I have to do to get them?
I would
And
be
if you make
perfect-
getting them fun is the key part.
It's Sindel. I'd be perfectly
Because
willing.
there's a lot of unlocking in games these days that is just straight up busy work, and that's the thing that people are against.
Yeah, I got a fucking life.
I do miss when like secret characters would pop up to give you hints as to how to find them, because that's the thing. Like, it was never just they're buried somewhere in the game and we're not going to tell you how. It was a series of intelligent hints. It was like, you can start finding me, or just toasty. Shit like that. Like, put
Yeah.
2 and 2 together and figure it out, and you'll find them in no time.
So that was a pretty boring version of the Deadpool, right?
Yeah,
A little
that
bit,
sucked.
yeah.
Didn't even have the grates on the walls.
I did like the I hovered over it for a while, but you guys were talking. I did like the painting of the exterior halls at night. There was something that very very MK movie feeling about that. I've always liked that a bit.
Yeah.
Let's go to. All right.
Yeah, we finished up the Deadlands.
Yep, that's the lion's share of shit done. What do you say? Meadow of Despair, the Blood Marsh, or the not the Necropolis? The Hollow of Infestation.
Let's go.
usually-
Let's go to the middle one with the fucking
The
torture
guillotines and
devices.
stuff.
Yeah,
The Meadow of Despair.
yeah.
All right, the Meadow of Despair it is. That's what I used to call it whenever I went to work at Ubisoft. The Meadow of Despair. Joke's on you. I would have said that about like the Hall of Infestation too. Let's kill some dudes.
That's fucked up.
Sure
Gonna
is.
be a lot of that.
That guy like died. Damn, this is way cooler.
It's about the same.
It's about the same, but it still got better colors.
Why is General Grievous fighting here?
It is a little more saturated, but the problem I have with the rooftop continues to exist, which is that they never even thought of an iteration where Shao Kahn's fortress is back there.
Yeah, that is like a huge missing piece.
I did not want to see this sideways portal on the roof.
Sorry, what? What was it?
One of the pillars on the right was taken from Versus DC.
Yeah, those were pillars from Shao Kahn's throne room.
Asset reuse. Are we even remotely surprised?
I mean,
because
it's not,
the premise of the rooftop, as you know, is that Shao Kahn's throne room is becoming merged with that rooftop, and that's why his throne...
Alright, we're back.
Game fucking crashed.
Game crashed. Good stuff.
I wonder if it was a screamer. We don't know for sure. I didn't hear a scream.
I think it was just clicking on the damn thing.
Well, we'll find out soon. Because there are more dudes to click on.
There are more dudes to click on.
And mutilate terribly.
So, I wanted to add a thought to what I was saying earlier about the lack of passion and the generic nature of the visuals in MK12.
Yeah. And
this is something that sort of... I thought has struck me about like the way the story modes are executed, and this is not exclusive to 12. It sort of happens in X and 9. Yeah. And it's that whenever characters travel to Outworld for the first time, it sort of just feels like it's played as though they're visiting a foreign country. You know, the way they react to like looking at the scenery and the people there and the sense of wonder that you should be having when encountering a fantasy world for the first time.
Uh-oh.
So what I was thinking about in terms of like how they treat arrival in a new realm is that there's sort of a lack of fantasy and wonder. And again, this is going back to 9. This is not a new thing. I think there's a sense of like, because the developers are kind of bored with the subject matter and they're like, we've been there, done that before, that instead of treating it as seeing a weird new place for the first time, this is a very elaborate opening of a coffin, by the way. I've always thought it was weird how like the bulge travels down that vine.
I've always really loved the Hall of Infestation area of the Krypt more than any of the other ones, and my god, have I ever wanted it as a selectable stage in some MK game. And the reason we're in the Hall of Infestation rather than the Meadow of Despair is because the game crashed on us not once, but twice, so we're going to test our luck here instead and see how things pan out.
We will never know what was in those two torture devices, what we unlocked.
Indeed.
But yeah, so I sort of wish... And again, this may be something that you could only get with a change of developers. If someone who's never worked on an MK before and like is excited to do so for the first time was in charge of various departments, this might be something we would finally see. But there's also, I feel like it's a sign of the times, sort of, because like I feel like Mortal Kombat, and this is a common complaint, it feels like Mortal Kombat is often trying to ape whatever the modern day pop culture is, which in this case would mostly be superhero movies, the MCU, and that sort of thing. I think what's aesthetically missing from Mortal Kombat is that the spooky outworld, you're in a strange land, you're in a portal from some dimension beyond, those aspects of the franchise would best be served if you were aping 80s fantasy movies like Labyrinth and Dark Crystal. If that was your true north, if that was your guiding star when you were like designing or writing the story, designing the visuals, both of those elements, the aesthetics and the narrative, I think it would feel a lot more authentic and a lot more like, what would it actually be like to travel to discover that there is this spooky world beyond our own.
I really do miss this kind of stuff we're seeing right here.
Yeah. There's some of what I'm talking about in this creepy fucking forest. It's sort of not so much there in story mode, but it's here in the crypt.
Yeah, I really dig these fucking bodies. They're just like
Just imagine a stage full of this. Like,
hanging.
just this happens in the background every so often. Just bodies blowing up here and there, like once a round.
You know, it's sort of interesting to me that it was a whole ass genre of film in the 80s. The idea of like people from a fantasy world coming to the real world, like Beastmaster or the live action Masters of the Universe, the He-Man movie. You don't really see that anymore, but that's kind of what Mortal Kombat is or should be.
Maybe it's just me, but I seem to remember like being able to highlight a bunch of green bugs on the ground every now and then and being able to get something through that.
I wonder
Distant
if
memory.
I feel like you're right, but I think it's that some of the it might have been in the swamp. I don't know if it was here among the trees.
Maybe.
Man, those spiders don't look very good.
There's not a lot of animation in their legs. They're just kind of sliding across the tree.
Yes, they are.
It
They're
it
cute.
reminds me of the ones David could step on in Armageddon.
God, they're gurgling.
Yeah, it's gross.
It's fucking gross, but in like
In
a
a
really
good
cool
way.
In a really, really cool way.
It's interesting how it's like presented as some kind of like fluid traveling down the tube, like it's glowing red in the vine, but then when it bursts out, it's a green soul. And every tomb you open has a soul in it, because the necropolis has a soulnado that I guess is collecting all of our unlocked stuff. So we're freeing souls, and then they get sucked into the soulnado, and that's where we get to look at everything we've unlocked.
We're setting these people free. We're doing good work here.
I mean, we're setting them free until they get sucked to the necropolis.
A few moments of peace. I could go for a soda.
I have a soda right now. Nothing. I don't have any fancy Mountain Dews this week. It's just Dr. Pepper.
Aww. Sponsored by Mountain Dew. Did the do.
I had Herberts and Gerberts before we recorded.
I don't know what that is.
It's a restaurant. It's like a sandwich shop.
Well, they don't have those here. Is
Oh.
it even a chain or is it a local place?
It's a chain. Just
Okay.
there's a couple.
Never heard of it.
This is interesting. It's like a... It's still got the tentacles.
Yeah,
It's still got the
Eh.
tentacles, but like the feel of the face is a bit closer to the traditional...
it's
MK3
less
one.
cat-like.
I guess, but
I think it's just. I think that's something that it's like the painting and the 3D model are going to have a different look because of the difference between 2D and 3D. But otherwise, that painting was exactly the stage we got.
the monster face is closer to MK3, but I never liked the MK3
Wait a
one
minute.
much either.
What was that? You got a Krypt collectible Sonya's dog tags? What
I
does
believe
that
so,
mean?
yes.
Oh,
There's
that's
one of those for everyone. Almost
Yeah,
everyone.
yeah.
Can you look at the dog tags? I don't remember that.
They like hover on a pedestal in the necropolis.
Yeah.
Oh, can
They're
you
just
can
like
you
little...
get a-
It's where everyone's thing is.
you have to
Yeah,
go to the
but can you-
necropolis to open them up. To look at
Can
them.
you do a close up on it? Can you look at it in a model
Maybe?
viewer or
Not a model viewer, but I think you can do like a close up view on it.
because
We can check
I
after
do
we're done
remember that in Versus DC Universe, the promotional renders were so high res that you could zoom in on the dog tags and read Sonya's date of birth, and it actually did track with what her age would have been in 1992, so it matched her bio in the original MK1 comic book. Like she's
That's
supposed
cool.
to be 26 in 92, I think. So her birthday was like the late 60s. I don't remember the exact. If I was faster at doing math in my head, I could tell you.
That one's kind of cool.
It's a little claustrophobic.
I mean, right, but
It's not bad.
Yeah,
make it a little wider. But I think that looks pretty cool.
still missing the big MK logo.
You're an MK logo. Also, it was on the floor.
You're on the floor.
My pee.
You know, I could make a reference. I could follow that up with something, but I have dignity. I'm not going to do
Okay.
that.
Sure
Your
you do.
mother's
All
on
right.
the floor, Trebek.
There it is.
That wasn't what I was going to do.
Oh God.
Okay, so this version of the subway,
Who's Alex? I want to know.
I don't know. I feel like it's
Is this like a
How are
Jazzy
they-
NYC reference?
so there are like trains running on the sides and one in the front, like a triangle.
That's weird.
It seems wrong. Like
I'm not sure that off to either side are actually train tracks.
they might not be, but
I don't think so. I think that this
This-
is just.
either way, this camera angle where it like goes straight back further doesn't seem right.
It's interesting. I'll give it that.
Like the trains should run along like there should be a wall behind them and not
Like
I guess the
they're trying to give us
stairs
like a
and more
view of
platform.
like they're trying to set it inside the actual like a
Like, I get
bigger
what they're
subway
trying to do.
station, but
I get what they're trying to do, but I don't think this is what the geography of a New York train station looks like.
I think part of the appeal of the subway is that it's actually just a little bit claustrophobic.
Yeah. Yeah, that's sort of too open and it doesn't look right. Which I guess they didn't do it that way, so we're good.
I like the view of the mountains and the pillars there in the background and the. Yeah, this is neat.
Yeah, I've always, like I said before, while we were actually fighting there, I've always really liked this version of the courtyard and how it's set at night and it's like heavily raining. It's the atmosphere it adds.
It's very cool.
Definitely improves Shang's throne room compared to previous versions.
Well, we're halfway there according to that trophy.
Here's these guys who, I mean, it's called executioners, but these are the guys who work in the pit or the Deadpool in the armory, right?
Deadpool, definitely, I think. Yeah. Armory 2,
Yeah.
maybe? Yeah, there's a few of them off in the background.
Yeah, the guys who are forging weapons back there.
They do feel a little bit Netherrealmy, though, don't they?
Yeah, I'm really like curious what species this is supposed to be that has like glowing open wounds and like there's clearly a third eye in their heads, or maybe they only have one eye. Like I'm not sure what purpose the blindfold serves. And then it's also like, is that also an eye in the middle of his pecs there, or is that just some kind of like?
It's very Hellraiser.
Yeah, they're very Cenobite-y. It's a little
Yeah.
too much for Outworld, I feel.
That's it, right? Like, there's just something hell about them, one way or another.
Yeah.
Bit less fire, bit less, I don't know, stitched wounds and stuff.
Yeah.
Glowing eye. I don't know. They could be Outworld, but they're a few steps away from it, and a few closer to the Netherrealm, definitely.
Guy on the
Yeah.
right had some bondage shit going on.
Yeah, he did. That's also an aesthetic that would fit better in the Netherrealm.
Yeah.
Gets you every time, don't it? Eat your heart out.
That fatality sucks.
Does it? I don't remember.
It was the one where he rips the heart out and then rips their head off and puts it in the
Oh,
spot
yeah.
where the heart is.
It's not a great one, no.
They couldn't have given him a laser finisher for his second?
No, that
Because
is.
he already rips the heart out in the first one.
I don't think he ever uses the laser in this fucking game.
Yeah, I don't think he does.
No.
Like a little bit in story mode.
I think it was one of those ones where it might have. I don't know, because they used that in one of the cinematic trailers. Scorpion does it to Sub-Zero, and it's like it makes you wonder if maybe they were just making like generic fatalities.
Yeah, because they did move one of Scorpion's onto Quan Chi when people complained it was too similar to his first.
Yeah,
More sword cutting.
And Shang's still got that stupid clown shit fatality.
Yeah.
Again, very MK95. I really love Shang's Garden here. Both versions.
yeah. Like, I wonder if they were making like a few like test fatalities, and they were just like kind of generic and not really like doesn't really show any personality.
This is the bell tower we actually got. Although I will say, here in the concept art, there are more bells than there are in the actual game.
Right.
You know that they had to have considered, like, having someone getting mashed up in the gears and stuff.
Well, it is to my eternal frustration that there's no stage fatality in this game's bell tower.
Smokeman,
Did we do the
you were
whole
saying
medal?
something.
Oh, there's one.
I was saying that maybe in the beginning of development they were testing out like the sort of gore tech, and they're doing like kind of generic fatalities, and then like by the end they just kind of stuck them in the game anyways.
Not impossible. In fact, I'd say I like this scenario.
I do think it's funny that, like, when this game was coming out, Boone kept cutting interviews about how much better WB was to work with than Midway and how they were going to have all the time they needed to complete the game, whereas Midway would make them rush things out. And this game is clearly unfinished in a lot of places.
I mean,
Like,
there's a saying that no game is ever truly, truly finished.
Yeah, but there's no voice in Cybersub's ending. That's pretty...
I'm always going to wonder what happened.
Let's before we move on here,
Yes.
I wish that they kept this.
This does look cool, though I don't know that I would have kept that human eyeball in there. I like the auditory apparatus up in the upper left.
It does show some detail to the inner workings of the helmet that's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
This is really rather neat.
Oh god, he's got a thing in his ear.
Yeah. The apparatus.
Oh god, that's probably jammed all the way up in there.
Oh yeah, I guarantee you that goes all the way up to the brain.
Well, I'm surprised he still has an earlobe.
I'm surprised he still has skin.
That'd have been fucked up if they cut off the ear, but they put that thing in there.
Well, I mean, the helmet isn't supposed to come off, so why wouldn't you just build some kind of technological earmuff around it?
I like that
Anyway.
by like the slight gash of red you can see dead center. He plainly doesn't like really have a normal nose or mouth anymore. It's just like who knows what going on down in there. He probably doesn't. He probably no longer has lips.
There's some kind of breathing mouth over top his nose and mouth. Yeah, breathing
cool.
mask.
Oh god, if they just fucking cut off his lips and replaced it with a speaker, that'd be so fucked up.
It's like Optimus Prime. There's no lips.
Although when Cyrax's mask came off, we found out that he got to keep most of his head. Like he was real, like he had like a Borg eye, but then in Deadly Alliance he has two working eyes. So I always wondered if what did Jax clone him some replacement flesh?
Sure, why not? So yeah, I'll have to go into the necropolis to see these little collectibles.
Yeah, I'm remembering now. Everybody had like an item on their fucking pedestal. I just can't remember if you're allowed to like zoom in and really examine them or anything.
Just like Mountain Dew Code Red, Razor. How about that? This guy's doing the do, and you should too.
Is that what happens when you do the do?
God,
I don't think so. I've done the do many a time and not exploded from the stomach. But it wasn't being fed to me through some kind of horrible spider vine from Dead by Daylight.
You're not getting your due from the right forests, Razor. You gotta look harder.
Okay.
Oh, missed you.
Nightwolf's not having fun somewhere.
Why is
Oh
he
my
purple?
god, the
That's a
purple,
lot of
purple
weird.
musculature.
What is
What?
going on here?
It's very
got-
bizarre.
We've all got the same questions.
Well, that definitely didn't make it to the final product, but still.
Maybe they're trying. It looks like they might be
That'd have
trying to
been-
intimate that like his musculature, rather than being red, is purple. I think that's what's happening here.
No,
So,
no.
like-
That is his musculature, 100%.
Yeah, but the idea of the like, well, if his blood is green,
I would
that
expect it to be a darker green underneath.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's weird.
Well, only a few more of these dudes
Just-
left, I think.
Yeah, we're almost done here. Alright, so given episode length, I do think that we will be only doing half of the Krypt tonight.
Indeed.
Next week, we will finish the Krypt, and then we will watch every arcade ending. And that'll
Every
be it
single
for
one of them.
MK9.
What about watching every fatality and talking about them?
They're not
You
good
know-
enough for that.
You don't want to spend more time on MK9?
They're not good enough to watch them all.
Some of them
I
are
don't have
okay.
anything.
My God, that's naked.
Yeah, there's a lot of.
That is so naked.
How is that piece under her tit still hanging there?
There is nothing keeping
would-
that attached. Oh my God.
It would literally have to be glued to her nipple for that to work. Yes.
Is that everything? Yeah, that's the entire
40 out of
holo.
40.
And before we
Alright.
go anywhere, I just want to see if I can find some green bugs on the ground in the main area. Looking for green bugs, because I remember that being a thing.
I don't think it's here, man.
You don't think it's
Maybe
here?
we'll have to look that up
Oh,
between
oh,
episodes. Can you?
I believe we're supposed
Ew.
to just focus on them and wait
Yeah.
for a couple of seconds.
Why?
I do remember it
It's
being
one
a
of those
little
little
difficult to get the cursor on them.
Quasi-secret things. There you go.
There you
Secret
are.
1. Purchase.
Oh,
money.
It's coins.
I didn't know that was even in there.
Yeah, yeah.
All right.
I've
Well,
almost completely forgotten about that. I started vaguely remembering it while we were here.
Maybe there's one in
I-
each section.
I think that's actually it. Now that you mention it, I think that might be the case.
one in each.
Not
Okay.
seeing any more of them. Have a lot of ground to cover though.
Well, we got the one in this section, so we got to go to the
Yeah.
back to the.
I'm assuming.
Fucking-
I'm assuming it's one of these sections. I just want to be very certain. Doesn't look like there's anything else. All right. Back to the hollow it is.
Wait, go back to the
Let's see. One in the Deadlands. One in the Hall of Infestation. One in
122
Yep,
out of
there's-
121.
There's one in every section.
Is there? All right.
Yeah.
Let's look for treasure. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do.
Something
Is-
tells me that it's going to be on the very outskirts of it for some
Is this
reason.
the Hollow? that
Yeah,
we're
this is the
in
Hall
right
of Infestation.
now? Okay. It's
Oh, look at you.
along the wall.
Look at you with your secret guide. Cribbing. Taking all the fun out of it. Where'd
Well-
you find Razor?
Well, if you kept looking around the trees, you'd never find it.
True. So
If
it's along the
you know,
wall.
So I was right.
Along the wall.
It's on the outskirts here.
I see nothing along any wall.
Hmm.
Oh, maybe it's different for each one. Like the last one was green bugs, and something's different.
No, I think it's green bugs every time. I feel like
I feel like I remembered being green bugs. It's along a wall, you say?
Yeah, I think it's closer to the beginning.
Okay. Going back.
It's something about, like, at the beginning of the area near the river or some shit like that.
Near the river.
Yeah, see,
This
there's a
would be a
river.
river.
But it's like... So, like, start at the river and then go along the wall.
Start at the river and go along the wall.
We're going away from the wall.
I don't think
I
this
know.
is the wall.
I just want to make sure, because some people with their FAQs, they can't English very well. So, start at the river. Right here. That's what this is.
Yeah, it said it's like... I think it said, like, see how these... I think these heads... Because it says it's like 6 heads down.
6 heads down.
Yeah.
Well, okay. I'm assuming this one over here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Ah, there it is.
Yeah.
They're right under here.
Yeah. Get the camera on them, because it's... down there.
Just hearing people screaming left and right back in there. There we go.
There it is.
Oink.
Oh, look at that. The head itself is...
More money. It's pretty cool.
Okay.
That's so cool. I did not know that that was even in there. That's
See,
rad.
that's what I'm talking about. That's what a real secret's made out of. Years and years down the line, you don't know it's even there.
Now
That is
imagine if
cool.
that unlocked a character.
Right?
Because it would be hard to figure out, but if you knew it was there, then you could do it as soon as you open up the game, right? So it wouldn't actually take a long time, it's just the figuring out.
Let's see our goodies before we go.
Alright. Look inside the necropolis.
I always really love the music in here.
I find it odd how Greek these aesthetics are. Because much like the way in which they redesigned the arena, I feel like Outworld really shouldn't look Greek, you know?
What the hell
Look
are these?
Asian.
What the hell are these doodads? Oh, right in front of us. I can't even see them.
Yeah. You see the size
There's
spinning
the
there.
size.
There they are.
So I got her size. Got his hat.
Allows hat.
No fans yet. No knife. No hook swords, I'm guessing.
And a
Johnny
shade.
Cage! $500 sunglasses.
Can't even remember what you get for Jax.
I think it's just
Bear of arms?
it might be.
It rains as a cloud.
I don't think I actually
Alright.
ever remember seeing the DLC
Yeah,
guys stuff. I guess they just automatically have to give it to you.
Well,
Yeah.
this might be something that was added for the PC version for like
No,
complete
no,
edition, because
no.
I feel like when I went in here after the DLC came out, you couldn't look at them.
No,
Like
no.
there
you
were
could.
not spots for the DLC.
You could. I remember this.
All
Okay.
right.
Sento.
I like that it's got his sash hanging off.
That's cool.
Mhm. I think Scarlet's is just like a ball of blood.
Probably. Down on the other end, yeah.
I ruined him.
Bug me.
Bug me.
Ah, it's her knives. And
Oh,
kunai.
okay.
Makes sense. Nothing. His ice grenade, of course.
Mhm.
Nothing yet.
All of his wind poses are about pulling that out of his chest, so what else is there to know about him?
Smoke has nothing. Smoke needs nothing. Smoke is perfect.
Actually, wait a minute.
I think Smoke would have a cloud of smoke.
Yeah.
It's something
Wait,
like that, I think.
actually, wait. No, now that I think about it, I think you might actually be right, Razor.
The DLC did not have Necropolis spots in the original version
No,
of the game.
no, because now I'm remembering that in order to view their model, you had to like press pause in a different character's model viewer and go to the select screen and then select them.
Yeah, see, like the the original version of the Necropolis was jank. I remember this. You couldn't look at the DLC characters unless you did that complicated bullshit. So this must have been fixed for the complete edition.
Nice.
Okay.
Remember, kids, only through resellers online. Good luck getting a copy.
Yeah.
I'm so glad I have this game. Holy shit.
Why would you ever like? I guess Freddy Wrights is the answer, but
I'm pretty sure the common theory is Freddy Wrights. That's it.
once a thing is on Steam, it shouldn't be possible to delist it. It should just be there forever.
You know, you should be able to just like scroll through them when you.
Yeah, you could hit left and right while you're looking at the picture.
You don't have to keep going out.
I've had a
Yeah,
long
there-
day.
there
Go
you-
away. Beat fucking challenge tower for you, ungrateful bastard. Anyway, what is that helmet on Con doing here? That is that is horny, is what that is.
they pulled that out of a Shaolin Monks concept art, is what they did.
Ah. I don't think we commented on that one. There was a lot going on here, and I would not
I
call
remember.
this-
Yeah, I
all
was-
these, all these spikes. This doesn't really like this.
This
is
does
like
not feel like Goro's lair.
the camera is pointed in the wrong direction compared to the angle you usually view Goro's lair.
Yeah, it's like it's the subway concept art redux is what's going
Yeah.
on here.
It's also I would say that's not Goro's lair. That's the
The dark prison
the dark prison.
that does
yeah,
look a bit like it. Yes. Heh. Neat.
Yeah, they are railings. Look at that. See, there's
Yeah,
stairs in
yeah,
the program.
because it's the stairs. Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about the guys like hanging up in the
Up
the
there.
ceiling.
Well,
Yeah.
we got that in
But,
the finished version. They're just cut open and over top of the
Dissected.
tables. Yeah.
Okay. I wasn't talking about the corpses. I was talking about them hanging from the ceiling. But okay.
Yeah, they're hanging from the ceiling in the finished version too.
Are they?
Yes,
Oh.
they're suspended
Oh
above
wait,
the tables.
no, I remember now. No, I remember
Yeah,
now.
yep.
Yeah.
God, that's cool.
Shame that's not what it looks like in the game.
Not enough living to this forest concept. art.
Yeah.
There's not even
there's
a
no
face on the tree.
faces. That's just fucking random shit.
This is just a forest, and then there's some guys hanging down.
There's no Colosseum Knight in this game that I'm remembering, but this feels like what was going to be.
Yeah,
the
see,
version
all
it.
of the concept art for the Colosseum is more purple, except that one. But with the oranges, or what they went with.
Yeah.
That's
So
what we
there's
got.
the graveyard we got. Yeah. Now, that's weird because
That's
Goro's
weird.
chained up in that one.
Goro's B&D lair, maybe? I don't know.
Goro's prison.
Yeah. Goro's dungeon or whatever the fuck.
Oh.
Oh, so
the
there's-
ones that
there's
we unlocked and when it crashed.
Concept art for the crypt.
Early
That's
crypt
Oh,
entrance
whoa.
concept.
That's a lot more elaborate.
That's
Holy
really
shit.
cool. This feels like a Doom level is what this feels like.
I was gonna say something like Bloodborne or something. I don't know.
Well, that too.
That's the crypt, all right.
Oh, the walls used to bleed. Damn. Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
Yeah.
something's really happening to that guy.
This is cool. Swiggity swooty, no skin on that booty.
There's the screamer. That's what it actually
Yep,
is like.
we hardly knew ye. Or we
It's
didn't
also-
wish to forget.
It's one of the unfinished Molinas from the Flesh Pits tubes.
It is.
Now this wasteland looks more like the actual wasteland.
It's
The
a bit
wasteland we got.
it's a bit barren back there. It needs a
Yeah.
towering
Yeah.
statue, but it's nice. I like what's
Well,
going on here generally in terms of
The
feel.
wasteland we got has much less ocean.
True.
Like, there's a bit of a river, and there's like a big pirate ship in it, but it's much smaller, and like the fortress in the background is way closer to the foreground. So, this game's version of the Netherrealm, of the Scorpion's Lair area, I don't like how it has an open sky and there's only one pillar made of bones.
You know what's weird about it is the fact that like you're kind of on the ground and it's all like right there behind you. This, looking at this, gives me like old school MK Bridge vibes and a little bit of God of War, and I kind of like this a lot. This is pretty neat.
I just wish there was like the one from UMK3 was clearly like an indoors area. There were a bunch of like dungeon archways in the back.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think we've come almost full circle.
Yeah, these are the stages as we got them.
Yeah.
It's just one big pillar made of bodies.
Yeah. Okay, we've seen everything that there was to see.
We've seen everything.
Stages.
All right.
Okay, this is all other miscellaneous
Yeah,
stuff.
that's where they keep the like combat codes and shit.
All right, do we want to call that it for the day?
Yeah,
sure.
I think we've seen everything that we've unlocked today.
Okay.
So yeah, tune in next week for the rest of the Krypt and the arcade endings.
We hope you've
see
enjoyed.
you later, nerds.
Ah, I'm finally free. Have a nice day.
Oh,